Alright, welcome back to the second video. Previously, we have listed out a few definitions of well-being, okay, which, if you can still remember, we have two types of well-being that have been discussed recently, the hedonic and eudaimonic well-being. And we have another few types of well-being that include spiritual, psychological, physical, social, subjective and objective, self and others well-being, short-term and also long-term well-being. Now, let us briefly go into some of the psychological model of well-being and what are the components in the model in order to achieve one's happiness. The first model is RYFF'S model of psychological well-being, which was developed by Professor Carol Reeve. She categorized well-being into 6 categories. The first one is autonomy. Autonomy. Right, what does it mean, autonomy? The self-determinant and independent. And the second categories are environmental mastery. Okay, environmental mastery encompasses the competence in controlling and managing environment to suit our needs. The third one is personal growth. The personal growth is your feeling of continued development and self-improvement. The fourth one is positive relation. Okay, positive relation with others means that you are warm, you have trust relationship, and you are concerned about one's welfare. And the fifth one is the purpose of life, which means that you have goals in life, you have sense of directedness to achieve your aim of life. And the sixth one is self-acceptance. Here you can see self-acceptance in RYFF'S model emphasizes that positive attitude toward yourself, accept multiple aspects of yourself, including both good and bad qualities. Again, one of the components in the well-being model that have been developed by Professor Carol Reeve, is self-acceptance. Here we can see that self-acceptance has been acknowledged as one of well-being. Now moving to the next model, okay, the Kayes and MAGYAR-MOE'S model of social well-being. Right? The Kayes MAGYAR-MOE'S model had outlined that a social well-being consists of 5 dimensions of social integration, social contribution, coherence, actualization, and acceptance. Right? All this may increase the likelihood to obtain a good mental health. So according to this model, in order for you to gain a good mental health, these 5 components need to be in your well-being, and acceptance is one of it. Right. Moving to the next of well-being model, which was developed by Professor Dr. Paul P. Wong, a clinical psychologist in Canada. He has discovered domains in psychology that include learning theory, right, social cognition, and also existential psychology. Professor Wong has developed a personal meaning profile, a PMP, that defines a meaningful life into 8 sources. So these are the 8 lists here. The first one is acceptance, followed by achievement, relationship, intimacy, self-transcendence, religion or spirituality, fair treatment that includes social justice, and also positive emotion. Again, we can see the element of acceptance has been highlighted in his personal meaning profile. Right. Now let us go to the latest model of well-being, which was developed by Seligman's 2011. Right? Seligman have instructed 5 dimensions of well-being in the acronym of PERMA. P-E-R-M-A. Right? What does it mean by PERMA? Okay. The first P is the positive emotion, where he said happy people look back on the past with gladness and look future with hopes. Right? The R is the relationship. Okay, everyone needs someone. Okay, and this have been we have been learned this in Maslow hierarchy, and we also have something to share and build relationship with. The third one is accomplishment. Okay, everyone's need to win sometimes. Yeah, we have that urge to win. To achieve well-being and happiness, we must be able to look on our life with sense of accomplishment. The fourth one is engagement. Okay, when we engage to something that we enjoy, we begin to completely engage with the present moment and enter the stage of being known as flow. Okay, itu maksud go with the flow, which means that you enjoy doing it walaupun dia susah. But at the end, awak akan engage and you will direct it to the flow. And the fifth factors of well-being is meaning. Okay, he said that, Professor Martin Seligman said that we are at our best when we dedicate time to something greater than ourselves. This might be religious faith, community work, family, politics, charity, or professional or creative goal. So, in order for us to feel happy, okay, we have to give something that gives meaning to our lives. Right? So these 5 elements have been discussed in Seligman's model of well-being, WBT. Right? Okay. And these 5, at the end, it will lead to one word, which is acceptance. So we have discussed a few positive psychological models, and we can see how acceptance may lead to the person's well-being. A question may arise on how to develop the acceptance. What are the pathways? Field research on human behavior acceptance can be built on 5 pathways, namely, this one is our own self-acceptance, and we also have other people acceptance. We also deal with death acceptance, and we have stress acceptance and acceptance of here and now. So remember, this comes to our 4th objective, how we can inculcate acceptance. There are 5 pathways. Okay, let's go to one by one of the pathway. The first pathway. Okay, the first pathway is self-acceptance. Okay, what does it mean by the self-acceptance? Self-acceptance is a precondition for self-transformation, self-awareness, and self-reflection on our uniqueness. Okay, it is very necessary for unconditional self-acceptance. The non-acceptance on weakness may lead to poor self-esteem and depression. Okay, the keywords of self-acceptance is that it is the staging point for us to transform into positive change. Right? The second pathway, which is acceptance from others. Okay, while self-acceptance may lead to one's true self or authenticity, accepting others enhances its genuineness by developing a person interaction and community growth. Okay, right. In conclusion, the key words here is mutual trust and understanding with people, and it include interaction, a mindful interaction. Right. The death acceptance, the third type of acceptance. Right. It may sound awful when a person may perceive death as a full stop to a happiness of life, and we tend to avoid it. It's true, but for a person who deliberately approach the death, he tend to accept the reality that we live only once, and year of life is short and fragile, which make him think on the priorities and ultimate life of goal. Okay? The anxiety of the death can be overcome through faith and meaningful relationship. Okay, for those who are dealing with death, okay, orang-orang yang berdepan dengan kematian dan orang-orang yang redha pada kematian, accept the death, dia akan ada sikap ini di mana dia akan gunakan the death itself to priority his end of life. Dia akan cuba untuk berbaik-baik dengan orang, akan cuba memperbaiki hubungan sesama manusia. Dan ini telah pun digariskan dalam Islam. Okay, berbaik-baik dengan sesama manusia. That is death acceptance. How we accept through death. Okay, the next one is, okay, this is what we call it as stress acceptance. Okay. Memang tiap-tiap hari kita akan terpaksa accept stress as one of our component in life. Right? Okay. If people view stress as one of the acceptance, positive acceptance, dia akan gunakan stress ni as a coping technique. Okay. This is where we conserve our energy. Dia akan simpan energi dia by learning to disengage, untuk tidak engage and let go. Maknanya dia tidak akan engage with the stressful event and let it go. Learn to become creative in managing problem and conserve the positive vibe in serenity of prayer. Okay, biasanya kalau orang yang positively accept stress, dia akan gunakan segala stressful vibe tu, masukkan dia ke dalam doa. Right, that is the pathway acceptance through stress. Right, last but not least is accepting the here and now. What does it mean? Okay, it means that when our mind and soul is adapting to acceptance, we tend to mindset and facilitate ourselves to self-aware and understanding others and connection. We are transforming the negative emotion and suffering to inner serenity and well-being. And at the end, we begin to appreciate life. Okay, so the fifth pathway is, boleh dikatakan, the end of acceptance. Okay, di mana ini acceptance tingkatan yang paling tinggi. Okay, di mana dia akan gunakan segala acceptance itu sebagai mindset dia untuk menghadapi, untuk manage, and untuk transform all the negative emotion and suffering into a happiness. Okay, jadi kita ada 5 pathway, 5 cara bagaimana acceptance boleh dibangunkan or acceptance can be developed. Alright. All this pathway is summarized in the schematic. Okay, ini schematic dia di mana kita ada 5 pathway of self-acceptance. And dalam schematic ini, okay, kita akan tengok how to develop a meaningful acceptance. Okay, di kotak berwarna kuning ni. Okay, how we develop and how we practice it. Okay, dia dalam kotak warna putih tu. Okay, I really hope you can go through it and understand it by your heart. Okay, di mana setiap acceptance itu kita ada cara bagaimana untuk menerima dan bagaimana kita nak kekalkan the positive acceptance in our life. Baik, so shall we continue to the third videos? Okay, the third videos is where kita akan lihat beberapa contoh acceptance dalam perspektif of perception management. See you.